Hey, it's Bon. Let's talk about games. Specifically, just fix it. I don't want excuses. I don't want to hear, that you have people on maternity leave. I don't want to hear that, it's there's problems that are going to take months to fix. I don't care. Just fix it. This is what you see a lot of people saying in a lot of the game communities to game developers. Myself, I've seen it with a whole bunch of games, especially the Division franchise, but I've also seen it in other games I've played, like Escape from Tarkov, Apex, basically any live service game. This is a attitude you don't tend to see in like single player games as much, because they kind of can, because it's not like an ongoing process. So if there's issues with a single player game, they can eventually tend to just fix them. But there's this sentiment, and I've seen it recently with the Division 2, but you see it with a lot of games, whether it's like Cyberpunk or other games like that, where there's always this sentiment where fans will just be like, "Well, just fix it. Stop making cosmetics and stop putting out new levels and just fix the latency issue, or just fix that mechanic that doesn't work right." And the reason I say this in the nicest way possible, a really stupid thing to say, is that that's not how game development works. Because game development is a bunch of people who are pretty specialized, all doing their own thing, and the game comes together at the end. So when a game like The Division comes out and has new cosmetics and has new guns, or a new boss or something for you to fight, but there's a problem with disconnects on the servers, you'll always have this group of people who are like, "Well, stop putting out new stuff and just work on the thing that's broken." And the issue with that is, and it comes from an ignorance to how game development works. Not every game developer knows how to do environmental design, how to work in the engine, how to program stuff, how to do network stuff. They're all fairly specialized. And so, if your idea is to take the person who makes the models for the guns, or makes the skins for the cosmetics, or does the organizes the voice acting. If you want that person to go into the network team and to try to fix stuff that's like IT related or server related, or there's issues with the engine, if you want the person who makes the pants to fix the latency, well, they're not going to do that because they don't know how. It's like asking a chef to be a mechanic. And sure, okay, let's do it. Let's throw that person on that job. Well, one, they may just sit there with their hands up and be like, "I don't know what to do here," or they may just wing it, and something tells me it'll probably be worse than it was before. To a point, it's hard for me to really blame the average gamer when they feel this way. The problem is that ignorance isn't like, you don't have to be ignorant. Like, you can, there's a bunch of resources out there. If you just type in how game development works into YouTube, I bet you'll find 1,000 videos that explain, even in fairly generic ways, how the different departments work and the different specializations, and how games go into pre-production and production and they release, and how bug fixing works and how QA works and all that stuff. You can look into that. You can look up someone like Mark Dara, who puts out tons of great videos from a dev's perspective on these things, on this specific topic. I'm sure he's done a video. But instead, the people just slam their face against their phone and drool on their phone, and whatever it types, they just hit it, and it typically just says, "Just fix your game." And what I'm asking is that if you're someone who's like that, or you see people who are like that, if you're someone who's like that, look it up. Like, look up, be curious, look up how game development works. Look up, documentaries about game development, or instructional things and things like that. Or if you're someone who sees people being like that, you can just ignore them. That's probably the right thing to do. Or say, "Hey, it's not that simple. Here's a resource. Here's a person to check out. Here's something to," they can't just put everyone on the bug fixing team, because it won't do any good. That's just not how it works. So that's my advice. That's my thoughts on it. I am curious to what you think. I'm sure I'm not the only one who sees this stuff around. There is, I think, a sentiment though that some people are like, yeah, I understand it's not that simple, but at the end of the day, and I actually don't completely disagree with this, at the end of the day, the consumer, it's not their job to understand. The consumer paid money and they want a product that works. And I actually think that's a fair argument, but I still don't think that that justifies being ignorant about how things work and just flailing, especially going after specific game developers, but really in general, just putting that negativity out there of being just like, just fix it, you idiots, you're incompetent. When that's just not true. It's just they probably are overwhelmed. They probably are understaffed. They probably are under-resourced. And while that may not be your problem as the consumer, you can still, it is still possible to like understand it and to have some empathy for that situation. But that's just what I think. And that's what I have for this one. If you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. If you can like this video and comment down below with what you think about this, it helps other people see it. You can check out my podcast called The Echo Cast on all podcast platforms. I talk about gaming news, The Division, Mass Effect, stuff like that. You can also check those episodes out on here. You can follow me on socials at Bondiesel on Twitter. And I'm basically Bondiesel on everything, including Twitch at twitch.tv/Bondiesel, where you can watch me every now and then and we can chat. That's all I have for this one. So until next time.